This is Superhuman TV Show on with my good friend Paul. He's got AA me into the dumpster. This is for Juggalos and Juggalettes. Don't try this at home, and I hope you like it. Whoop whoop. Fuck this shit! Oh my god!
See, y'all are over here really thinking that we need to, sit here and have some type of crazy shit happen in order for, like, this collapse that's coming to come. It's gonna come on its own, believe me, alright? Like, in case y'all haven't noticed, there's a lot of fucking stupid out here. And by the way, I want to say we're, Operation Get Rid of the Lefties, and make sure that they don't vaccinate their kids is in full swing, right? So we have 50,000 unvaccinated children head to Wisconsin schools as the U.S. copes with the worst measles outbreak in like 100 years or some nonsense like that. In 27 years. Beautiful. This is amazing. I found this article. I figured I'd read it to y'all. When Wisconsin children return to school this week, close to 50,000 of them will have waivers that exempt them from vaccines, leaving them vulnerable to measles at a time when the nation has experienced its largest outbreak in 27 years. Health officials across the U.S. have reported 1,215 cases of measles this year as of August 22nd, the highest number since 1992, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Measles has been declared eliminated in 2000. Well, apparently not. Y'all did not check. I really do think it's purely dumb luck that this hasn't spread to Wisconsin, said James Conway, a professor of pediatrics at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health. Since November 2018, state health officials have investigated 382 suspected cases of measles. Not one case has been confirmed. Immunization rates of 92 to 95% are considered necessary to provide what health officials called herd immunity. The term is used to describe a level of immunization high enough to prevent the infection from spreading to those who are susceptible, possibly triggering a widespread outbreak. The vulnerable group includes children under a year who are too young to receive vaccines and children with weakened immune systems. Wisconsin's most recent county-by-county immunization rates paint a sobering picture. The 2018 figures measure the percentages of 5 and 6-year-olds who have received at least 2 doses of the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, the amount needed to fully immunize a child. Not a single county in 2018 came close to the 92% threshold. In fact, 40 to 72 counties had immunization rates below 80%. Welcome to single motherhood, folks. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens when you let women raise fucking kids. This is goddamn beautiful. There is no comparable national statistics, but 2017 state-by-state vaccination rates for children 19 to 35 months of age showed Wisconsin trailing 36 other states, according to the CDC. I would not be surprised at all if I woke up tomorrow to hear that the measles outbreak had reached Wisconsin. Not surprised at all, said Malia Jones, an assistant scientist at the University of Wisconsin-Madison Applied Population Laboratory. Well, let's stop here for a second and understand why this is going on. Well, number one is moms don't really give a fuck about their kids. You know what I'm saying? Number two is moms are dumb, right? Number three is, like all the shit that like we've heard that our government's done over the past like 40 or 50 years. Between like a JFK assassination, the Gulf of Tonkin thing, the Iraq war, like all these things that like legitimately we killed a whole bunch of people, or like fucking we had some insane shit that our government did and nobody went to jail, right? And then like you had all those bailouts that happened in 2008, in 2009 and whatnot. And again, nobody went to jail for their criminal fucking actions. This is the problem right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the end result. You end up with people so untrusting of their fucking government and what they're being told that literally they're making these type of stupid decisions and they're gonna fuck up our whole society behind it. See, this is the problem, all right? Legitimately, like, this is what happens when you let people just get away with shit. All right. When you're not perp walking people out of Congress and holding your leaders responsible for the shit that they do, this is what goes on. All right, this is the end result of all this shit. Okay, is that the people so badly don't trust and mistrust the government at this point, and mistrust the media and mistrust what they're told. Guys like me, all right, with a fucking GED and who's a high school dropout, are out here bringing you more reputable fucking news coverage. For my juggalos and juggalettes. Whoop whoop. Oh man, obviously alarm bells should be going off. We're below that threshold for herd immunity, and more importantly, it's trending the wrong way, said State Rep Gordon Hintz, Democrat from Oshkosh, who proposed legislation in May that would eliminate the personal exemption from immunizations. Immunizations for personal, religious, or health reasons have risen more than 9% in Wisconsin over the last 3 school years, 2018 to 2019. Exemptions totaled 49,039, right? There is no reason to think that the trend will reverse itself in the absence of any intervention such as policy change, Jones said. So I'd say chances are we'll top 50,000 this year. Representative Chuck Widgers, Republican Muskego, who heads of the committee that received Hint's bill, declined to schedule a public hearing on the matter, saying he supports a parent's right to decide when and how their children should receive treatment. He declined a recent request for interview on the issue. Yeah, like, yo, look, see, I can't say that I support, forcing parents to do shit with their kids, right? Because I don't think the government should be involved with your fucking family. But on the same point, I get it. You know what I mean? I do. Like, the thing is that if your kid ain't fucking immunized, he shouldn't be allowed to go to school. It's that simple. And like, if you choose that's the way you want to do things, you should be forced to educate your child at home. Like, that's really what the situation should be. Like, like you can't, again, we're back to single mothers, like this fucking nonsense. You can have your cake and eat it too. No, all right? You don't get to have your fucking cake and eat it the fuck too. For fuck's sake. I was saying that if a child was given the facts themselves and told these diseases they would like it to go through, they would choose to be given something that would not make them have to go through that disease. I don't think you understand how children think, okay? Like, the problem is that you're literally dealing with children. These women aren't children. You stupid fuck. It's selfish for parents to put their children to use because of an agenda about personal freedom and See, this is the problem, right? This is the fucking problem, okay? Personal freedom and personal choice. It's not about that. It's about a lack of responsibility. That's the problem. It's I don't know why, like, I expect anybody to listen. Like, I don't get it. It's responsibility. All right, you don't get your child vaccinated for them just themselves. It's for the community as a whole. All right, and it's responsibility. Women don't have responsibility because you give them freedom and you don't give them any responsibility for that fucking freedom. Anyway, public health officials say that Wisconsin's low immunization rate reflects a national anti-vaccine movement driven by erroneous information on social media, concerns that the shots can cause them harm, and long ago retracted paper that suggested a false link between vaccines and autism. The measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, often shortened to the MMR, can have side effects including fever, mild rash, temporary pain or stiffening in the joints, and soreness in the arm from the shot itself. Recent studies have indicated out of 4 of every 10,000 children received separate shots in a chickenpox vaccine experience a very rare side effect called febrile seizures, convulsions that accompany a fever of over 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, a condition that can last 7 to 10 days immediately following the vaccination. Yeah, like you end up with a high fever, you can end up in convulsions and seizures and shit. Like, that's just how shit works. The vaccine does not always work. About 2 to 3% of the children who receive 2 doses of the vaccine can still get measles, said Jones at UW. However, a CDC webpage for the parents concerned about vaccine safety stresses getting the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine is much safer than getting the measles, mumps, or rubella. Yeah, I'll be honest, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a bad thing. like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. real shit. Like, I know these are kids, like, whatever, right? But, like, they're growing up in leftist households. This is mostly a lefty movement, so I'm kind of like, hell with it. You know what I mean? Let's keep these fuckers from breeding as much as possible. A vaccine success may have contributed to a lack of concern about measles. Millions of Americans born after the vaccines drastically reduced measles cases have never seen a person with the illness, let alone a full-blown outbreak. Collective memory is low, said Saad Omar, director of Yale Institute of Global Health. In the first decade after measles became a notifiable disease in 1912, the U.S. reported an annual average of 6,000 measles-related deaths. Until the arrival of the measles vaccine in 1963, an estimated 3 to 4 million Americans were infected each year. Yeah, man, like I remember my pops telling me, like, he had 14 brothers and sisters, and like the ones who didn't get measles and mumps were like sent to Virginia and West Virginia to go live with family and shit. If a person with measles had been born in a room, a child who comes in 2 hours later has a 90% chance of becoming infected, according to Lynn Rott, Associate Chief Medical Officer at the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. Once infected, it usually takes about 6 days before the child becomes contagious. Early symptoms are similar to a cold. Often, it is not until 11 to 12 days after exposure that children begin to show rash, regarded as hallmark of seizures. That means there are often several days when parents, unaware their children even had the measles, may allow them to mix and infect others. About 1 of every 1,000 measles patients die as a result of the infection. In some cases, hearing loss is a complication of the infection. Disease is not mild, even for children who don't suffer complications, Conway says. Measles is a miserable disease. It's heartbreaking. You get a horrible headache. Everything in your body hurts. The implications of an outbreak extended beyond the infected. Right? It is incredibly disruptive to a community when there's a measles outbreak, said Jones at UW. Schools could be canceled. In an outbreak, anyone not vaccinated against measles and anyone with a suppressed immune system would have to stay home from school. School absences would likely require parents to stay home from work, care for their children. Each time health officials conveyed a new case of measles, they would have to track down all the people who had come into contact with them, especially those vulnerable to infection. Infected children would be quarantined for up to 21 days. Experts said that even a relatively small measles outbreak would probably last several months. Yeah, and let's be honest here. You know what I'm saying? They said, like, you know, parents would have to stay home with their kids and work. You think that would really affect the economy, but you know, women really don't do anything at fucking work. So let's be perfectly honest about that. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But I wanted to bring y'all this and tell y'all, you know what I mean, operation is in full effect. And, you know, we're getting it done. You know what I'm saying? Good work out here to all the trolls and all the shit posters. It's appreciated for all your work and your your dedication and hard work, man. We love y'all. You know what I mean? We appreciate everything you do. In the meantime, man, it's Tom Peter's Pnoid News. I'll holla at you boys. Later.